The following program may contain strong language and mature content. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, because you can be watching this at any time of the day. It is your fave, Ryan D from Healthy Him, with my co-host for today, Malik H. Say hey to the people.
What's good?
Y'all, welcome to the Healthy Him Show. We are on our 34th episode, okay? And first off, we just want to thank, Pyro Media Network for always producing us so beautifully. APLA Health for giving us the jobs we have today. And CDC for bringing the Muntie Hunty, because, okay, without them, we would not have this show, nor would we have this program. So thank you.
Yes, baby.
Okay. So first off, co-host, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling really good. I really appreciate being able to be called on the show. I know,
Okay.
I'm trying to fill some heavy shoes right now because I know Dwayne always brings it. But I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Yes. My co-host for today is here, okay? And I appreciate it because I feel like, first off, y'all, we're not sisters, we're not brothers, we're not twins. Everybody always asks, are y'all related?
Just get that straight
Let's
right
start
now.
there.
We know the questions is coming.
Okay, that part. But let's get into what we do here. So out here, we are a sexual health clinic, and we focus on HIV testing, STI testing, all the good things, PrEP, PEP, and everything in between. Okay, so for those who know my program, Healthy Him, we focus on Black MSM 18 to 39, and we offer HIV and STI testing where we, what he say, big shoes. The other co-host who's supposed to be here but sick, Dwayne is sick, y'all. Yeah, I put that out there. It's sick season. He's sick, so he's not here. But like I was saying, we focus on Black MSM 18 to 39, and we do STI and HIV testing. And for those who do our checklist, they get $50. We're also offering an incentive for an additional $50 if you get your monkeypox vaccination. So if you are a Black, queer, or bisexual, or gay man, and you want money, come to us and out here. Okay?
Hey.
Also, PrEP and PEP. PrEP is the pre-exposure prophylaxis. So, the pill you take a day to prevent from getting HIV. And PEP is if you have been exposed to HIV and you only have 3 days, according to California laws. You have 3 days to get on it, or, things may go south. But other than that, we have linkage to care. Linkage to care is when we link you to care or link you back into care. So currently, Dion, my counterpart that y'all have met in Healthy Him, he has a group for POS individuals, Black core POS individuals, 18 and up. I don't think there's we might stop at 39 actually. We might stop at 39. But we focus on linking people back into care or linking people into care who are just finding out they are positive. And it's a safe group who also is co-hosted and mentored or mentated,
co-facilitated, all that good stuff.
That's the word I'm looking for. Yes. By Malik as well.
Yes,
so
yes.
But let's get into your group.
So Men's Mountaintop, we've been going now, I believe, since maybe the end of August, early September. We've been going for a minute now.
Okay.
But it is, my program, of course, networks. I know you know about it because of Dwayne. Thank you, Dwayne. Yes, our target, a group is a little bit more broad, of course, like that, but you know about networks. But yes, Men's Mountaintop. It pays homage, of course, if you know MLK's great speech. I've been to the mountaintop, I've seen the other side, all that good stuff. And for us being in this community, of course, we really just want to see that other side for people that look like us and just, be able to live and thrive and be able to just share our experiences. That group, of course, there, you meet people like you, you're able to share your experience. experience, and learn stuff as well too from our job. This great job that pays us.
Okay, hello. Speaking of payday, we get paid tomorrow, y'all.
Ooh.
But because Dwayne is out today, we do not have dance class today. But usually every Tuesday from I believe it's 7 to 9, he does his hip hop class, or he goes into maybe hip hop to heels to what was the other thing he did recently? I think he did some vogue classes, with certain people. So sometimes it changes. It just depends on how he's feeling. But also we have BQT. Yours truly, Black Queer Talks, every Thursday from 7 to 9. Like I always say, we focus on everything between love, sex, relationships, and all those things in between. Recently, we've been having all of our members facilitate, and it's been really great. Recently, we had somebody do things about resumes and how to make resumes. We have someone coming up about identity. We have our Black queer therapist that comes in every first Thursday. Marty is amazing. We recently talked about conflict resolution, and it was really a good conversation. So it's really good. So y'all should come if you are a Black queer man. Pull up. It's 18 plus. Okay, so 18-year-olds, y'all are available, and 40 up, y'all can come too. Y'all can come too. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm forgetting to mention as well, Men's Mountaintop. Yes, it is more of a I would say more diverse. Black, brown, whatever color you are, you're accepted. It's every second and fourth Wednesday of the month from 6 to 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And where is it?
It is at Watts. It's the MLK Hospital, and it is the CDU area, the Out Here Clinic over there.
Yes. Okay, and what did you say? You said the time?
Yeah.
Okay, you get the time, you get location.
Location, all
you
that.
Demo.
Who could come?
Okay. Did you get your age range?
Age range is pretty open right now. We are accepting pretty much all ages right now. If you are over 18, of course.
Okay. Yeah. So anybody under 18, I'm sorry, you can't come right now.
Yeah, right now. One day.
We're gonna be in your area soon or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. But without further ado, let's get into the topic today, y'all, because we got some things to talk about.
Ooh.
Bring that main topic in.
Got you.
I always have to remind myself to look into the camera, y'all, because I keep looking at myself. So I'll be like,
right here.
Yes.
Period.
Okay. So, y'all, we are talking about banning Black Gaydom. As a question mark exclamation point. Ban Black Gaydom? What?
What is that?
No. I feel like there's so much going on in society where I was like, this was a spare of the moment episode, but it had to be talked about. So first, let's just get into a co-host. Did you see Wakanda Forever?
I did, and
we
did. I'm like, so you already know. But as a Marvel nerd, my entire life, it was what was needed. I was ready.
How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, I felt that it was needed for Chadwick and his family, but it was also needed for my little nerdy self, the continuation of the story. So yeah, I loved it.
Did you hear about the banning that's happening?
Yes. So my thoughts?
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, of course, if little information, if you all don't know, the Dora Milaje, of course, they are pretty much the protectors of Wakanda, and it just so happens that this conspiracy, well, I won't say conspiracy, this drama that's brewing right now with the whole situation happens to be because if you all know the warriors, the Dora Milaje, they are all women, strong, powerful Black women. We love to see it. There is a couple within that army, 2 women. Yeah. So with that being said, I mean, I genuinely feel that a lot of us in our community, we get too caught up sometimes on what we're not used to. But one thing I do love about reading comics, again, being a Marvel nerd, you're exposed to so many different cultures and people and what they do and how they live. And I think any culture, if you're Black and you're learning about Asian culture, or any brown culture, whatever, there's going to be things that are different, and I think that difference, of course, just kind of course, tests your bias, challenges your bias. But I do think that, with what happened, the kiss or however people want to take it, I think that I don't see personally anything wrong with it. I do think that sometimes we try to over-sexualize just basic physical interactions between humans, whether heterosexual or
I
homosexual.
agree.
It's really just, it's all subjective in my opinion. However you want to take it, seeing two people kiss or be intimate or affectionate with each other, it's not all the time for everybody sexual. So just because we're so used to seeing heterosexuals be physically touching and intimate and all of that, and then now all of a sudden we see homosexuals doing it. Oh my God, now it's a sexual thing, or now it's an agenda, or now they're trying to make our children gay and all that. Like, let's chill out, because sometimes it's just really about saying, hey, I'm here too, and this is my experience, and this is how I love. Just like how we've been able to see the heterosexuals love on television and
growing up,
all that. Yeah. So
but are they not? They're also gay in the comics.
Absolutely.
The old ass comics.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So what's the new situation that people are so like riled up about?
Well, as we know, not everybody reads the comics. Of course, not everyone wants to read it. Not everyone, of course, respectfully is in the comics. I think that all Marvel is doing is being respectful to the comics. So if anyone does think it's an agenda, I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but that's not what that was. The movie was just giving an iteration of what's already happened in the comics.
So apparently, they are banning Wakanda Forever from China and France. Those are the main two places right now. Malaysia was under wraps for a second. They were thinking about it, but Malaysia has passed it and was like, no, we'll show it. But it was almost 3 places. But the fact that China and France are right now like, no, we're not showing it because of a simple forehead kiss. I wish we had that clip. Kwame, you were right. You asked before the show, did I have any clips? And I did not think about that. But it's okay because I don't want to spoil it. Go watch it. Y'all should still support.
Absolutely,
okay?
Absolutely.
But there was a small forehead kiss. It was like 2 seconds. It was a small forehead kiss. Yeah. You could have thought it was like her baby sister, for all we know. I mean, it was very loving, but we wouldn't have took it as romantic because when I saw it, I wasn't like, oh, they go together. Like I was just like, oh, she loves her. Yeah. Like that's all I thought. Like I didn't think anything else. Maybe it's because my homosexual mind was just like, oh, it doesn't matter. But these heteros, they just see something and they run with it. And I'm over it. Exactly. And it's always when it's something black and gay.
Right.
It's like y'all want to ban us so bad. And I don't understand why. It just makes no sense.
Hence the topic for today.
Exactly. Now let's get into this next mother. Woo! Okay. Boosie! Oh, Boosie! Mr. Boosie himself. I'm surprised it was an issue. The world usually goes up for the L in LGBT. They only go up for the L when it's white. Now let's be real. Like there's literally the L word and it's about white women being gay and it did so well on logo. But when it comes to black queer women, it's not that really, it's not understood. It's not recepted or
received.
There we go. Thank you.
And what I would also say is that with it being just such a monumental black movie, they're always going to find a reason to hate on it. They're always going to find a reason.
Exactly. Now, Boosie recently responded to Gabrielle Union because she was defending her stepdaughter, Zaya Wade, on how he keeps talking about her and Lil Nas. So to wrap it up, Gabrielle basically said, if you have something to say, Boosie, like about your sexuality, it's a safe space because like you have so much to say about my stepdaughter and I don't understand why. She's living her life. Me and her dad got her. And he basically responded to short terms. He said, we know your husband is gay. You're probably effing him and effing him with a dildo and all this other stuff and a bunch of other mess on Twitter. And of course, there's a flock of people who always support. He's talking about, I love women, but like, let's really get into it. Do you love women? Yeah. I feel like a lot of black men who mistreat black women always say they love women, but if you love a woman, why would you mistreat her?
But where's the love, though?
That part. And did you not get a prostitute to come and have sex with your child under the age of? They weren't even. I think he was 11, 13. Around there?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm so tired of talking about Boosie. Clearly we're gonna get into it, but I'm so tired of talking about him. I'm so tired about listening to him talk about a culture or community that, for all he knows, is not related to him directly. God forbid his son come out as gay one day. That's gonna be a whole situation. But I mean, to be specific, can we cuss on here? Okay, so
as long as it makes sense.
Yeah. Gabrielle Union's interview, I believe her quote specifically was.
Continue, y'all. I gotta stop this thing in this bothering.
The quote specifically, I believe, was there's a lot of dick on his mind. because he's worried about, Dwayne's daughter, going through with the procedure and all of that. So yeah, like, I mean, Gabrielle, I give it to her. That was a clapback. Like, yes, it is a lot. It is a lot of dick on his mind, and I'm still wondering, like, why. But then again, I don't often question those situations. I already kind of assume, and my assumption is, well, there might be other things going on there,
right?
With him that he maybe he's afraid to explore. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think he's had a safe space, like they said on the show, like when she was on the interview. Like, he hasn't had a safe space to really dive into what may have happened to him, what he has experienced, or what he wants to experience. Because I'm like, you were in jail for a long time. Don't tell me you did not have one experience in jail. A lot of y'all go to jail and like nothing happened, but it's like, baby, we know at least something happened. Like, whether you saw something, you felt something, you touched something, you got something sucked, you sucked something, you fucked something, like whatever the case may be, you did something. Because you were in jail for some years. And there's no way you can be in jail that long and not be able to be like, I'm not going to do nothing. Like, I just don't see it. I don't see it. But then with me, I'm very like, sexuality is a spectrum. So I'm like, I know people can do things and still be like, oh yeah, I'm straight. I just had this experience with the guy.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But at least admit it. That's why I don't like it.
Do you think he was right to be offended when Gabrielle basically was like, you seem to have a lot of dick on your mind? Do you think? Because where he was coming from was like, okay, you coming for me, that's kind of like a man's reputation. Like, you test me. Do you think he was, wrong for feeling that way or responding?
I mean, how he responded was wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was wrong for responding because you want to be like, okay, this is not me. You could have came at a more respectful manner, but the fact that you haven't been respectful is why she responded the way she responded.
Absolutely.
But mind you, this video is from last year.
Yeah.
Okay, Gabrielle did this interview last year, and you're just responding a year later with a tweet. Like, pointless.
And you've been talking about their daughters since 2020.
That part, literally since her transition.
Yeah, and really, to be specific, talking about the parenting of Dwayne because of what he's allowing his daughter, how he's allowing his daughter to live her life.
But like his parenting, I can't.
Yeah, that's the part for me that's like, how do we sit here and be like, okay, well, a child is not old enough to make a decision like that. As far as sex change, but then, and you want to be such an advocate for that as far as, what's going on right now. But are we also being an advocate for all these young children that are making an adult decision to decide to have children when they're kids? That part. Like, where are the advocates for that? Because there's a lot of young men out there who are making adult decisions, babies making babies, and we're not jumping on that and being like, okay, wait, how you gonna let your child have a baby? But oh wait, you letting your child, from his words, chop off, his penis or her penis. It's like, to me, it's very double-sided, and it's like I don't like it. I don't like it.
I'm really over Boosie, to be honest. I actually
I've been over him.
He's been in the media a lot, and I just don't understand why.
Yeah.
But like, I want him to go back to jail at this point. I really want him to just be back. And
that might be the best thing for him,
because a lot of Black people actually listen to him.
Yeah,
and it's out of ignorance and like just being uneducated, and I hate that. But moving on to some more educated realms.
Yes,
the first gay HBCU football player being out and open. Who said this? My biggest issue with Boosie is the support that he gets from the Black community solely because he opposes the Black LGBTQIA community. Exactly, Eric. Yeah. Thank you. And hey, Eric. But thank you. Okay, because I feel like that's something we got to get. We're going to get into. Okay, we got a lot this episode. I just drew this up today, but we're going to get into it. But I feel like the Black community is so into being like, homophobia, that when Boosie speaks, they be like, yeah, I don't want that, And like, even the Young Miamis of the world, like her being like, oh yeah, my hairdresser can be gay, like all this other stuff, but if I have a son, he gonna be gay, like I don't want that around me. I'm like, make it make sense. Yeah. Make it make sense. Like, y'all want to sound like y'all not homophobic, but when you say stuff like that, it shows that there are some ideals that you have that are very homophobic.
Absolutely. That's just another iteration of like, well, the choir director can be gay, but yeah, we not doing, I'm not having no gay son.
Exactly.
Like, he can sing in church and be next to the gay choir director, but you can't be gay though.
I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense. It's very double standard, and it's pointless.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, the first openly gay HBCU football player, his name is Byron Perkins at Hampton. Shout out to Hampton. Okay.
Absolutely.
He came out and the world went nuts. A lot of people were supporting. A lot of people were like, like I don't want him, da 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 da. But he's a D1 athlete, so there's no way you can deny him.
Right.
He's good at what he does. He has a scholarship for a reason. A lot of people are supporting him, especially the Black gays. Of course, we're here for it.
Right.
He's very handsome. Okay, very handsome.
Very, very handsome.
But very, much too young for me. But
same girl.
But I was in support of it. I loved it. And he said he was just tired of being angry all the time and always being like, I can't be myself. And he just opened up. His mom was very scared, as I can understand why.
Yeah.
Him having a scholarship, him being a football player, etc.
Yeah.
But he's masculine appearing and he's masculine as a whole for what we would know in the Black gay community. So I just feel like, do you think he's safer because he's masculine or has more essentially privilege?
Okay.
Because he's
right.
because feminines don't get privilege.
Absolutely. I think I want to say I do think he's safer. Before I do go into that, I want to ask, safer from who though? Specifically,
I would say safer from the society as a whole, to be honest, because if you are more masculine, you have more opportunity to be in hetero spaces and not be clocked. To be like, oh, he gay, like we're not gonna mess with him. Because a lot of times when people find out you're gay, they look at you different and they operate you differently. Yeah. But they would not know he's gay. So it's like,
I feel that. My answer to that would be I do think he's safe, or I don't think he's safe is in the locker room. I think he's safe in a lot. I think he's cleared because he's just more masculine in a lot of settings and a lot of spaces. The media now, the reputation of college life, all that good stuff. I think he's cleared when it comes to that because he is more masculine presenting and he is great at what he does. But I do fear for him as far as him being alone in the locker room, because
think people start jumping?
I feel that if not jumping, but at least, the bullying. And I feel like he would. I mean, you may not be able to take all of them, though. You know what I'm saying? Because they do get girl, fight for your life if you need to. Okay. But I do fear for that a little bit for him. Yeah, because it's interesting. Heterosexual men in those spaces in the locker room can get real fluid when it comes to their physical attacks on us. So, yeah, it's the only place that I'm really concerned about.
That's true, but I also feel like he's their star athlete. Like if you're a athlete, like you can't lose him. Yeah. So if you touch him, you're messing up your whole team. Absolutely. And at that point, we're not messing with you because it's like, why would you touch him? Like for what? Because it's his sexuality. Yeah. It's about to be 2023. What are you doing?
Yeah, with the program, I do think that this is a grand opportunity for all of the other players. Some of them may come from smaller towns where they're still in the old ways or old attitude of ways in their towns they're from, where they're just going to have to learn how to become more accepting and understand, if their respect just solely comes from, you winning us games. Yeah, bro, I respect you. Even through that, there's somewhat of it's been shown in history. There becomes a thing of I'm starting to see you just as a human being, as a person, you just like me. Right. So maybe that is going to happen. I do hope it does happen.
I do. And I hope he continues to find more about himself, because although you just came out, there's a whole world that you know nothing about.
Very true.
And I'm telling you, the way people be like, LA gonna change you when you're not from LA, I feel that same way when people come out. Yeah. Because as soon as you come out, everybody on your top, especially looking like that, they about to be on his top. Yeah. Like if y'all already wasn't on his top, y'all about to be on his top, and I already know. And he gonna be dealing with DMs, people trying to use him maybe for his scholarship, whatever the case may be. Yeah. I feel like the locker room may become microaggressive.
Absolutely.
Come over, Sean's girl.
Absolutely.
Hey,
girl.
But yeah, I definitely think it would be a lot of microaggressions. Yeah. Very much so. I want to change here because you're
And I pray that that's the only thing he has to deal with while in the locker room. I genuinely do.
That part. Okay, getting into dealing with things. Tyler, formerly known as Tyler, her name now is Marsh J. She is a trans young girl. I believe she is now 13. That whole incident in Atlanta, if y'all do remember, there was a child who was filmed on Instagram Live with his mother and two of his other family members carving the word gay in his head. And he was just sitting there taking it and crying. It was really sad. And the authorities finally found them and charged all 3 of them, but they didn't get fully charged until like last week, which is crazy to me. And this happened last year, but we don't know their sentence. It wasn't public knowledge. I tried to find it, but it wasn't public knowledge. They just said they were sentenced, and that was it. But my thing was, one, when I saw that, I started crying. I'm not gonna lie. I started crying because I was like, that's so sad. Like, this child is really like trying to be safe in this family. And the fact that the closest thing to you is your family and they are abusing you because of something that you identify as in the moment. That's a problem.
So the update now is that he has been taken out of the home?
She has now.
She has.
Yes, she has. And she is now like, I don't know where she is, but I know she is safe. And that's all that matters. I think she might be with another relative who is hopefully better. Or hopefully not foster care, but maybe foster care.
Absolutely.
I have to look into that more, to be honest. But I know that she is safe. She is safe and she's been doing okay. The 3 family members. I just hate that it was her mother. I think we see a lot of Black men and families terrorize other family members who may be gay, and it sucks because it's like you're supposed to be there to defend, protect, and like, you know, mentor. But your mother, like allowing, like just seeing your mother or having your mother carve the word gay in your head against your will, like you just sit there and cry and just be.
Who's the man?
Like, I don't understand. I think it was his cousin.
Okay,
either cousin or uncle, one or the other.
Yeah, it's a very emotional topic for me. It's very, very emotional. I do, before I say anything, want to start off by saying that I absolutely commend you, Tyler, for you.
Mars J now. Mars J. MARS'_JAE.
And that's on period. Like, I commend that you're even in a space now where you are freely able to express who you are, know who you are, unapologetically, and let everybody know that. Like, I commend that, because you being able to do that, there are a lot of young people out there who maybe aren't as loud as you or have your voice or the opportunity or the courage to do what you're doing right now. And them hearing this story, like, you are inspiring so many young people. And it reminds me a lot of myself when I was younger, in a sense, not feeling like I can really vocalize and be loud about who I want to be or what I want to be or how I want to, you know, inspire other people. So this, I commend you. I commend you so much. It's so touching. Like, I love to hear it. I feel like through even the pain that she will express, she's going to touch a lot of people's lives.
Definitely, especially at 13 years old.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the main thing for me. And then Zaya's around the same age. Zaya just turned 14, I believe.
Yeah.
So I just feel like this next generation
I'm about to say, look at the new generation. Like,
Gen Z is about to eat because Lord Nas is already out here.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
yeah.
Like, seeing that and having that is like, we didn't have that growing up.
Absolutely. And what I forgot to mention was that another reason why I commend her is because I want to be clear first in saying that being who you are, whatever it is you like, isn't always about, you know, you were abused as a child. But what we have to be honest about is that there are a lot of African-American men that have been abused. And sometimes, not all the time, that has led to why they are attracted to who they are attracted to. So imagine being young, having those things happen to you, know that now I like boys, but I can't say that even though, you know, what my uncle did to me or what my father did to me or my mom's boyfriends, whoever, feeling like all that stuff made me who I am, but I can't even be who I am, you know. And I want to commend her for that as well too, because you're not afraid to say, like, look, this is how life made me. This is who I am. Like, and I'm not going to hold that back because I'm afraid of my community condemning me. Like, you are amazing, astonishing, like all of that. So yeah,
definitely everything my co-host just said. But yeah, I definitely feel like the fact that we never had that, I love that this is now here for the upcoming generation. So those who are like, the next generation is going to be over, period. They really are, because I'm thinking, like, when I was 4 or growing up, I would always look at Aaliyah and I'd be like, that's how I want to be. Like, I want to dance just like that. Michael Jackson, I want to be like that. Like, I never had a gay idol to be like, I want to be like that. Like, I never had that until I got to like teenage or early 20s, where I was like, oh, Billy Porter, oh, Daryl Stevens. Like, those are people I was like, I love them. down like perfect.
Absolutely.
But I'm excited. I'm really excited for the future. Like now that we have this, it's gonna be interesting.
What I will say, since we don't know what they've been charged with yet, it just needs to be hate crime. Hate crime added to whatever else is going to be there. That's
How
all I gotta
long
say.
would you sentence them? If you
I would sentence them for 10 years.
10 years?
I would. If it was up to me. That may not even be necessarily valid as far as what they did. But me personally,
Right.
oh yeah, you got me fucked up. 10 years.
Okay.
Because that's childhood trauma. And we already have enough broken Black individuals in this world, period. So you're just adding to that 10 years. Electric chair.
Yeah, we don't know what the sentence is. I couldn't find it. Y'all can find it. Let us know.
Mhm.
But I was just like, what should we sentence them to? So you say 10 years, but I would say, like, honestly, being that I could like feel that story, I'm gonna say like 50.
Okay.
Girl, 50 years. Like, you need time to think about what you did.
Electric chair, really, right after that. So, I get it.
50 minimum to life. Because at that point, it's like you scarred somebody's life forever.
Yeah.
And you took away a lot from them, from their childhood. And your childhood is the most crucial moment of your life, because if you don't properly like live your childhood out thoroughly, you're going to always want to have that when you're older. Yeah. And I feel like that's why we have a lot of grown little boys out here who are still trying to relive their old lives or have Peter Pan syndrome.
Absolutely.
Because they're so old, but they want to be this little boy forever. And it's like, you didn't get to be like that when you were younger. And I'm not going to lie, I have that low key sometimes too, which is why I'm in touch with my inner child. But it's just like, I have it to a degree of like, I'm still grown, I know. Yeah. But I still want to be young sometimes. I'm like, let me live my life. I'm not trying to be old just yet.
I feel that. And I was just going to say, for anybody out there that's like 50, damn, Ryan, that's too long. That's a whole life. Well, just because you in jail don't mean your life over. You can write a book. You can mentor to some people while you in there. Figure it out.
You can knock some time off your sentence if you do some good deeds.
Come on.
So, hey, you never know. But without further ado, let's get to commercial break, y'all. I'll be right back.
Are you in need of a quick and easy way to know your HIV status? Swab and Chill is a discreet way to learn your status in the comfort of your own home. The process gives you results in 20 minutes. Swab the upper gums, swab the lower gums, and voila! Simply follow the colorful step-by-step instructions located inside the kit. Or call APLA and we can assist you virtually. In addition, all kits include condoms and lube for that penetrative fun. For our trans clients, we have Swab and Chill Plus, a customizable kit for trans-specific needs. And we haven't forgotten about COVID either. All kits include personal protection gear, like face masks, comfortable yet stylish. A personal touch tool for dealing with those germ-infested handles and ATM keypads. Wet wipes for those little messes that need cleaning up. Also, keep that summer body protected with Swab and Chill sunscreen. And don't forget about our fanny packs for those quick trips to the store. All this can be yours. Simply call Swab and Chill at 323-329-9713 or email us at swabandchill@apla.org. We would love for you to be part of our Swab and Chill family.
Come Swab and Chill with us!
y'all. We are back after that brief commercial break. Okay, and today we are talking about banning Black Gaydom. What you talking about? Here with your co-host from Healthy Him, Rain D, and
Malik.
Okay, Malik H from Networks. Okay,
Yes.
gotta shout out Networks, of course. Dwayne would kill me if I did not. But y'all, today we're talking about banning Black Gaydom. For those who are like, what is Gaydom? So Gaydom, y'all, by the Dexter definition, is the collective gay experience, community, and culture. Okay, so that's what we say when we say banning Black Gaydom. Now that y'all are educated, let's get into it. Coach, you want to take away 5 real quick?
Sure, yeah. So, Little Nas not being nominated for the BET Awards compared to Jack Harlow, but nominated for 7 awards at the MTV Music Choice Awards. What do we think about that?
Exactly.
How do we feel?
Yeah, I felt the way. First off, Jack Harlow, for those who don't know, is a white man. He is a white man from Kentucky. Literally, he has like a Kentucky Fried Chicken little campaign going on because he's from Kentucky. But anyway, he's a white man from Kentucky, and I feel like he wasn't really fully put on until Lil Nas put him on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. And I do appreciate the fact that when he got nominated or when he won, because I think he did actually win, which is crazy. He mentioned Lil Nas and was like, shout out to him for XYZ.
Yeah. I
feel a way that the BET Awards is supposed to be for Black people. For those who don't know what BET stand for, like, first of all, we're under a rock? Because I don't get it. But anyway, it's Black Entertainment Television, y'all.
Yeah.
And it's not even ran by a Black person anymore. That's what's crazy. Like, years ago, a white person bought BET from the Black owner, which is also crazy to me. Why would you give it up to a white person when it's BET? Like, that just makes no sense to me. But nevertheless, he gave it to a white person, and the white person has since been moving it, but it hasn't been doing that well, in my opinion, since the old school days, the 106 and Park days.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't get nominated for any awards. And I know we were just talking about him, and I just feel a way because he's doing so much for his generation, and he's doing so much in general with his music. And that bothered me that he didn't get nominated for not one Black award, being a Black gay man, and his music being so at the top of the charts right now.
Yeah.
But then it comes to the MTV Video Music Awards, which we know is very quiet, and they give him 7+ awards.
Yeah.
And with that, for me, it feels like in many instances, things we talk about often, a lot of Black gays are accepted in white spaces because it's like they accept you for being gay more than accepting you for being Black. But they're gonna be like, we can mess with you. But when it comes to being in the Black community, it's like, you Black, but like, we don't fuck with that gay shit. Like, that kind of thing. Yeah. So it's like, it's a lose-lose. Yeah. It's like, I can be with y'all, but y'all don't really fuck with me because I'm Black. But then I can be with my community, but y'all don't like because I'm gay. Yeah. So like, where do I go? It's confusing. But the fact that they gave him 7+ awards is crazy. He had the most nominations of the entire award show, which is also crazy, but didn't get anything for BET Awards. That really made me feel some type of way. And then Jack Harlow, he's white. How can you give a Black Entertainment Television Award to a white man? I don't understand. That makes no sense. Like,
somebody gonna argue that he's like a certain kind of white from that Euro region that he's something. It's not just white though. I'm like, okay.
You know this man is white because look, first off, this man said he didn't know Brandy and Ray J was brother and sister. Oh my God. Everybody who Black and know culture knows that Brandy and Ray J are brother and sister. And if you don't, you really live under a rock. First off. Then second, you remix Fergie's song. Like, you couldn't think of something original to do. You remixed her song, marketed off of it, and made it more Black with the Black community. And people ate that up. And I think that's why people fell in love with him. They was like, oh, I love this song. But now he like rapping on it. It's not like so like pop. It's more like,
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't know how to feel about it. And I feel like with those instances, we are trying to ban Black Gaydom. And it's specifically, it goes back and forth through each community, both white and Black, but it's so embedded into the Black community. And I hate that so much because it's like, why are we trying to get rid of our own? Like, why are y'all trying to get rid of us? I don't understand.
Yeah.
This makes sense to me.
I think we've reached a point in our society now where we've explored so much of Blackness that now it's like, okay, well, what else is there to explore? The gay Black, because we've been here. And people want to reject that. They want to reject that new, like this new expedition we're on of like really discovering, discovering. Okay, let's not be like, oh, it's an agenda. It's like more Black people being produced. No, they have been here. I can't emphasize that enough. See, as bad as it said, niggas been gay since the dawn of time. So with that being said, now that we are exploring and we're discovering more gay in the Black community, it's trying to be rejected. I feel like that's just what it is, really.
I feel that.
Yeah.
And like the crazy thing is now, for those kids who may want to look up some Black gay history, when you look up Black gay history or Black queer history, the first things you see are Marsha P. Johnson or Bayard Rustin or James Baldwin, Langston Hughes. You see those memorable people who we love. Shout out to y'all, rest in peace. And it's like, oh, these great people did this in history, but it's like, where is the actual history? Like, let's talk about the 1800s. Let's talk about all the way
before
back.
that. Yeah,
exactly.
Let's talk about the two really low key. What would you consider them? Kings, pharaohs in Egypt? They were buried together. Like, they had wives and families and stuff like that, but they wanted to be buried together. Like, stuff like that, people don't. We ain't talking about stuff like that
at all. And people are currently digging up tombs of them, and I'm like, y'all is trying to get some bad voodoo. So Juju gonna be on y'all, and it's not gonna be good. Like, that is not okay. We had BET has been dropping the ball. Love the network down, but they don't show Black culture in its entirety. That's true.
In its entirety, and in
Santana hasn't been acknowledged yet either. That is also very true.
Yeah.
Yes, Santana deserves recognition as well. What's going up? Nobody ever talks about a straight agenda. That's very true as well. Okay.
This is a part of the straight agenda. Okay. This is this banning Gaydom. Yeah.
I feel like the main thing, first of all, let's get to Santana. Shout out to Santana, because Santana has been holding it down for the femme betweens. Okay. And I live. And I think I love that him and Lil Nas are like connecting and have like a friendship.
And they're so different in their own right. They're not trying to be like each other. They're not trying to outdo each other or one trying to over emasculate the other. Like, they just like, I'm like this, you like that. Like, let's just collaborate and make that shit happen.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, Lil Nas fluctuates from his like femininity and masculinity. And Santana's just like raw all day. Like, but I love that because they're fire in the air.
Oh, it always works.
Santana is a Libra and Lil Nas is an Aries. So it's just like, it works. Like, that friendship just works. I love it. But getting back to the subject, y'all. Why do you think, like, he got nominated for so many awards with the VMAs, but not BET at all?
I mean, I think it's
like,
where
a deeper reason.
This conversation, I think, is answering it. There's a deeper issue. There is I don't want to say hate because I don't want to assume, but BET has an issue with homosexuality. I think to a degree they are kind of homophobic when it comes to giving recognition to Black gay art.
I agree. I don't know if Deborah Cox is still over BET. I don't think she is right now, because if she is, she's doing a horrible job. But I think when it comes to Lil Nas and his recognition, I love that he does not give a F, y'all. Like, he does not care. Like, he literally made a whole song that starts with FBT. FBT. Like, and that song go up. And it's like, I get why. Because it's like, bro, you have every right. Like, and that's not really go in. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely. You grew up literally watching that. He grew up watching it. And finally got to a point where he's like, oh, now, like, I can be acknowledged on a show that I grew up acknowledging people that look like me. They may not have been gay, but they looked like me. But now that I'm popping and y'all ain't even about to acknowledge that I'm at the table or in the room,
it's
fuck
like,
y'all.
You're being disowned by own people. And it's like being disowned by your family. Like, kind of like, it hurts.
Yeah, you kind of just got to let that shit go. Like, after a while, and just move on to bigger and better things. Find another family.
Not find another family, but then you can find another family, and that comes with why Ballroom exists.
Exactly.
We'll get into that next week, y'all. Stay tuned. But that comes into why that exists. That comes into why people search outside their family for other family, like in friends or other people.
Acceptance and love, trying to find all that too.
Okay, and that's period. But let's get into our next thing: getting rid of Black, queer, and gay shows / movies. So, y'all, I'm gonna read this down because I ain't memorized all of this, but y'all can get into it. So first off, Noah's Ark. If y'all know Noah's Ark, it is an iconic Black queer show. that has been in the Black community since I would say 2000s, early 2000s probably. It's really old. If you look it up, you'll know. Daryl Stevens, one of my fave Black gay actors. He's amazing. That show is gone. Styling Hollywood by Jason Bolden and Adair Curtis. They had their own show about Jason, who's a famous stylist here in Hollywood. And it got canceled. Like they had one season in 2019 and it just got canceled. They weren't renewed for a second and for Netflix, none of that. AJ and the Queen, RuPaul's show that he had that wasn't a competition show. It was doing really good. A lot of people loved it. It was getting great feedback. They canceled it after one season as well. And I just felt like after a while, seeing all these shows come on to networks and get canceled, it was like every time we get something, it's like y'all take it away.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. Like, why do y'all want to get rid of us so bad? Like, it's like we finally have something we can relate to that isn't competition. Because also Pose. Like, Pose could have did more than 3 seasons. Like, y'all could have did more than 3 seasons. I love that they wrapped it up in a beautiful way. Everybody got their happy ending for the most part.
Yeah.
It was just, well, rest in peace to Billy Porter. Well, he didn't really die, but like,
Right.
I didn't like that Pray Tell died.
He better not ever die.
Right. Pray Tell really died. I was upset. But, spoiler alert for those who see it, because if you ain't seen it by now, you know.
Now they know. Now you know.
Right. But Pose, it was like y'all could have gave us like at least 5 seasons. Like Insecure, y'all get stuff like that all the time. Like the Black heteros, y'all get stuff like that all the time. It's hard for Black gay people. It's hard for Black people to get things in general. But when it comes to Black gay people, we don't get as much as our heterosexual counterparts in the Black community. Yeah. Because we love Insecure down. But how did they get 5 seasons? But like Noah's Ark only had like 2 seasons. Like Styling Hollywood had 1 season. Pose only had 3 seasons. It's just like things like that. It's like, why don't we get the same things that you guys get?
I think.
Why aren't we equal?
Yeah, I feel that. I think in the industry, when it comes to producers, there is a fear of, you know, rocking the boat when it comes to just showcasing and just reflecting what is going on in our society, like who is in our society, people that like look like us, that are in our society, like our stories, our lives. I think there's producers that are afraid to, you know, really do that. And it, to a sense, I think it is valid that they are afraid, because it is the, you know, the backlash that they're afraid they're going to get, you know, from certain scenes or certain stories or whatever. I do commend, you know, P-Valley for what they're doing, because they're just saying like, F it, like regardless of the backlash, we going to tell the story.
Right.
But I think, especially in the early 2000s, there's always been a fear of like, ooh, like I want to do that. I want to tell that story, but can we actually be able to continue with all these seasons and be able to take all the backlash, the people that are going to decide, oh, I'm not going to watch that show no more because those individuals are on it. Right. And to a degree, I can kind of understand that. So again, if you are a producer or somebody where you're saying F that, these people's stories are valid, their experiences are valid, huh? My bad. Their you know, just their struggles, whatever, like their voice is valid. I'm just gonna tell it and deal with all the backlash later.
Period.
Yeah.
And shout out to, I'm glad you said it, P-Valley. Patrick Ian Polk is the producer of P-Valley, who's also, he was the producer of Noah's Ark as well. So that's why he's telling this story, okay? And I'm gonna work with him one day, manifestation, okay? But I love Patrick because he goes against the grain. And I think that's really why that story is so beautiful, between Lil Murder and I can't think of the name right now. Oh, Curtis. Uncle, no. Is that the name?
Well, I think they explored that, didn't they, Uncle?
What is his
Uncle
name? I can't think of his name right now, and I'm really
I'm having a
brain
brain fart too. I'm sorry, y'all.
So, but yeah, I love the fact that he is able to tell that story when we don't see that often. People always think like those individuals are like, no, they DL and they da-da-da. And it's like, he is, but he's showing you that he doesn't want another masculine man. Like he wants this feminine presenting individual. And we don't see those stories all the time. We know they happen, but we don't see them. Because 9 out of 10, it comes like how it was, if y'all saw this previous season, how it comes with the guy that he was dealing with in jail. It was like he was dealing with a fellow masculine individual. And he was just like, oh, okay. So we're used to seeing that. Like we want something different. So I think dealing with Uncle Clifford. Why the fuck did I say?
I don't know why we both were.
I said Curtis. I said Curtis. Uncle Clifford. Yeah. Them two dealing with each other is just like a good experience. And that's what I appreciate. But the things we only have now that I realize, the shows that we only have now is Legendary and RuPaul's Drag Race. And what else? I Love You, Bobby Purr. I don't even like that. I think that is horrible television.
I don't think it even counts. It's just kind of one of those shows that's so trashy that we can't help it. It's gonna be there.
But if we look at the black gay like caliber of shows that we have right now, that's out in general, those are the main three that people are watching. Yeah. And the fact that those are the main three that people are watching that like has us to some degree, they're all competition shows. Yeah. All three of them.
Pitting black folks against each other.
Exactly. There's not a thing of, let's just show your stories. Let's show you falling in love. Let's show you like just living your life. Like Style in Hollywood was beautiful because it was just James and Adair like living their life. Like just doing their careers that they had, living here in LA and just thriving. And it was beautiful. But we don't have that anymore. And we just can't see those kind of things anymore. They want to ban everything. It's like, we don't want to see it. We don't want to see it. But in competition, you want to see it. You want to see us go against each other. You want to see us be like, okay, I'm going to beat that other black person because I'm on their ass. Like, y'all want to see that. And I just don't understand. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. It really bothers me. I don't know. But I think we need more shows. Somebody need to write something. I need to write something.
There was a rumor that Issa Rae was working on a series that was, going to show, I believe, it was either just a queer man or a HIV or undetectable queer man. But I really do hope that, comes into fruition and manifests, because that right there, I mean, that would be, I don't know. I just think to educate and then to also, again, be a voice to people out there dealing with, either, just being queer and the hate you get, or being queer and undetectable, like those challenges. Like I feel like a lot of people would love that. I would love it.
No, same. Definitely. Sure. I just want something for us. Because it's like when we're finally into something that we can relate to, it's we're the best friend, or they're the co-star. It's like they are the main character, and there's a multitude of them in the show. Like Noah's Ark is iconic. But without further ado, let's get into the next thing because we're running out of time. I don't want to get into black trauma because there's enough in everyone. But as a whole, to sum this up, this new movie, The Inspection, with Jeremy Pope and Gabrielle Union, it's a lot of trauma in it. He basically gets disowned by his mother and goes to the military to like find himself or feel like he's, this powerful man. So much trauma in it. Yeah. But then he falls in love with this, white or non-black man. And that's kind of like... we have those stories a lot. We have those stories. And I do commend Moonlight for showing like a lot of trauma, again, a lot of black trauma. Yeah. But it still was like, a lot of black trauma, but still showing two black men loving each other. And I think that's what I appreciated. I didn't like the trauma part, but the fact y'all showed two black men on each other, it was like, that's great. But as far as this Inspection, I don't know how to feel about it. I don't want to go see it. How do you feel about it? Have you seen the preview?
I have seen the previews for it. I'm going to keep this brief on it. I think it is kind of another... What is he in? The Navy? The Marines? The Army? What is it? Okay. I think it might be a military movie. And growing up, my folks lectured me about not fighting for this country because what have they done for you, really? So with that, there's a lot of movies, of course, I think that... just gonna be frank, I think some of their movies brainwash us to be like, I gotta fight for this country. I think it is kind of a queer spin on brainwashing some of our queer younger individuals to go fight for this country, and that's what makes them heroic. My hero is Billy Porter. You being as bold as you are and telling your experience, and not only just telling your experience, but the experience of the character you were in Pose. You're my hero. So you don't just have to be in a suit and go and fight for America in other lands. You can do it right here, just being who you are and telling your story. That's how I feel about that. So I'm not really interested in seeing it. I may not, depends on what Boo wants to do.
Okay, period. Yeah. Come on, Boo. So how do we feel about these interracial love? Because I just feel like that's another way of banning Black Gaydom, y'all. Because every time we have a black love story to some degree, it's like they end up falling in love with a black person. Like, I don't know if you saw Single All the Way on Netflix.
I haven't watched it all the way through yet.
Single All the Way, great plot, great story. This black man falls in love with his white friend. And it's just like, why? You have all these other beautiful black men out in the world. And the one time that these young black us, get to see like Black gays want to see love, Black love. It's like, oh, you falling over a white man. You know, love who you love.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's like, why can't we see Black love stories?
Yeah, well, I do think art imitates reality. I think we do have a lot of interracial, couples in reality. I do think that, with on the side of the Black man, sometimes, especially if you're queer, you find love and acceptance outside of your race. I do see that. But I will say, I do think that we are fetishized. And I think that you can find love in fetishization, if I'm saying the word correctly. I don't know if I am. But I think a lot of the times that is what happens. They find love in us, in fetishizing us. They find they love us after they fetishize us.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know. But I think with that, it's so big in the media because, it's diverse. And then it's because it's, Black and white. But then it's like, oh, we're also making a movie for gay people as well. And then we're also, adding a little like fetishization in there between, because historically, I mean, for a long time in the media, it's always been a thing to put like a stronger Black guy with, a white counterpart that is a little bit more submissive, and all of that. I forget his name. There is a famous Black actor. Now I'm going out of, the homosexual realm, but Sidney Poitier, I think his name is. He was always pinned with, white women, that were looking like the damsel in distress and all of that. And I'm pretty sure, there's a whole category with porn, the whole taboo porn, like that whole white and Black aspect. Like they love seeing Sidney Poitier with white women. So I think even in our community, they love it.
So let's get down to the subject. Why do you feel like we're getting erased? Like, are we too powerful for y'all? Is that what it is? Are we too powerful? Have I not given you everything?
Come on, Angela.
Have we not given you everything? I don't understand.
Right. I think, and then even with that, us being like Black and being with another Black individual in a relationship, them kind of erasing that to a degree, but even just erasing like our presence, period, whether it's shows, award shows or movies, whatever. I think, to a degree, like it's just another way that they can try to keep us down. Because whenever we are in a movie, a great Black movie, we are like, we shine. No matter if it's Precious, we're going to overcome, we're going to shine. Or if it's Black Panther, like we are going to overcome and we're going to come out and we're going to look good while we're doing it too.
Okay.
So I just think, like, I think in their minds, it's like, dang, like, how do y'all look so good while y'all doing it? Like, and then be able to just withstand so much trauma and hate and all of that. I think that story, is really, I think sometimes like they capitalize off of that story, but then again, I don't know. I think sometimes they're afraid that it's going to be too inspiring to other minorities. So I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. What do you think?
I definitely feel that. I feel like seeing two Black men together is powerful. Because when one is already by themselves and the history of Black men, they literally had to buck break. If I'm not saying it right, I believe I'm saying it right. But you essentially had to, the slave owners or the enslaved people who were owned to some degree, would get raped in front of their families and everything, the men, because they were like, let me show you that I'm more powerful than you, even though you're this strong Black man. Right. And they want to demasculate you in front of everyone. And I feel like when you see, especially white people, when they see one Black person, they're like, oh, he's strong. Like, no matter how feminine we look, you still see our muscles and our Blackness. But when you see two of us together and then in love, that's some strong shit right there.
It is. It's strong because to us it's beautiful. It definitely shakes the table, a little shaking the table. Like if folks be mad. And to a degree, even with that, that's powerful. Like that makes us laugh. Like that gets a giggle out of people. It's like, damn, we really making y'all mad because we just together and we strong. Period. It's going to move people. And that in and of itself right there, two Black men being together, it's going to move people some kind of way. Like a picture on the wall. Like people are going to come and no matter who sees it, they're all going to have 50 different, feelings coming from it. That's what seeing two Black men does. And that's dope. That's powerful. Really that's magic.
And a lot of Black queer men have led a lot of movements.
Absolutely.
Okay, and have done a lot for the hetero community, the Black
Mhm.
hetero community. We are your hairstylists. We are your stylists. We are your everything. Your makeup artists.
We
all of
protect
that.
your women when you don't even know how to protect them.
That part.
Okay.
We do a lot. But nevertheless, we always in the show with advice. So, co-hosts,
Yes.
what advice would you give our viewers who may feel like an anomaly, essentially feeling different than normal because of these various, things we talked about?
Yes.
Isolations.
I think that it's so important to embrace the intersectionality of who you are. And what I mean by that is like, I am Black, I am Muslim, I am a Marvel nerd. Okay. Like, and the three of those things, me being in my life, growing up, I did feel out of place because I did feel like, dang, like I'm really the only one really out here like this. Like, do I? I'm a unicorn for real, but not really feeling like a unicorn yet. I feel like an ugly like donkey at the time. I'm just like, dang, I'm different. But I would say embrace the intersectionality of all of that and tell your story. You got to tell your story because there are people out there who aren't as bold as you or aren't as loud as you or aren't as courageous as you or willing to get in front of a camera and say who they are. And you never know, you might be your story or your voice at that right time might just be the thing that keeps that person from killing themselves before you can actually, reach them and be able to touch them and be like, hey, like I'm here to help you. I'm here to be your mentor or whatever. So just keep telling your story, whoever you are, however you look.
Period. My co-host put it very well. Okay. Being different makes you special. That's simply put. Like the fact that you're different makes you special because you don't want to be like everybody else. You don't want to be like irreplaceable, or you want to be not irreplaceable. There we go. So you want to be like, you can't replace me. Like I'm very irreplaceable. So that's just that on that. But without further ado, it's Ryan D and Malik H saying bye.